By early 2025, Meta was losing ground in the AI arms race. The release of its open-source Llama 4 model was met with lukewarm reactions, and internal development on the successor was months behind schedule. Mark Zuckerberg responded with a specific target: personal superintelligence. He wanted AI woven directly into consumer hardware, specifically smart glasses, acting as a continuous cognitive enhancement for billions of users. The Meta's existing AI division, FAIR, operated as a research institution. It prioritized open, long-term exploration, a pace that didn't match the schedule required to ship a consumer product. To bypass traditional hiring hurdles and avoid drawing scrutiny from antitrust regulators, Zuckerberg executed a massive financial maneuver. He paid $14.3 billion for a 49% non-voting stake in the data infrastructure company Scale AI. Zuckerberg targeted the person at the helm of Scale, 28-year-old math prodigy Alexandr Wang. By paying for a stake in the company, Meta effectively bought the right to install Wang as its first-ever chief AI officer. Zuckerberg had installed a startup founder at the top of a corporate hierarchy, setting the stage for an internal collision between a speed-obsessed mentality and a trillion-dollar corporate legacy. Within his first 60 days, Wang began dismantling the organization. He launched a recruiting blitz, poaching over 50 elite researchers from rivals like OpenAI and Google with massive compensation packages, while laying off 600 existing staff to eliminate layers of management. The surviving top talent was consolidated into a new unit called TBD Lab. Operating outside Meta's normal culture, this small team bypassed standard corporate communication tools and worked in a flat structure directly adjacent to Zuckerberg's office. This concentration of authority sidelined Meta's established researchers. Yann LeCun, a Turing Award winner who founded FAIR, suddenly found himself reporting to Wang, an executive nearly 4 decades his junior. LeCun resigned shortly after. He left to found a heavily funded rival research lab in Europe, signaling the end of Meta's academic era. With the old guard gone, Wang executed a radical strategic pivot. Fearing that international rivals were using Meta's open-source architecture to train their own models, Wang cut off public access. Future frontier models would be strictly proprietary. Meta had spent years positioning itself as the champion of open development. Under Wang, that philosophy was abandoned in favor of a centralized, closed empire. Training this new closed-source superintelligence required fresh information. Specifically, it demanded an insatiable supply of human-labeled data and manual coding puzzles to teach the system how to reason. Meta's solution was a mass reorganization. In May 2026, the company transferred 6,500 software engineers out of their current roles and into a new applied AI engineering unit, specifically to churn out this manual data work. These engineers were given a simple ultimatum: take the reassignment or quit. Internally, the draftees quickly adopted a grim nickname for their new division. They called it the Gulag. The friction boiled over into outright revolt. An employee hijacked a live-streamed all-hands meeting with an expletive-laced outburst directed at leadership, and over 1,600 staff members signed a petition protesting the use of keystroke monitoring software on their workstations. This plunging morale sat in stark contrast to the top of the organizational chart. The elite researchers Wang had poached were receiving packages exceeding $200 million, largely shielded from the daily grind of the data pipeline. One had successfully accelerated the timeline, but the speed was sustained by a fractured caste system, a handful of ultra-rich researchers sitting on top of a conscripted underclass. After 9 months of restructuring and internal friction, Wang's new team finally shipped a product in April 2026, Muse Spark, Meta's first proprietary frontier model. Technically, the rebuild paid off. This chart compares compute power. Muse Spark performs complex reasoning using 10 times less compute than Llama 4. But shifting to performance benchmarks, results are mixed. Spark scores 52 on the AI index, visibly trailing the 57 scored by GPT 5.4 and Gemini Pro. That performance gap is a vulnerability given the financial stakes. Meta has committed up to $135 billion to AI capital expenditures for 2026 alone, pouring massive capital into new data centers and hardware. Unlike Microsoft or Google, who sell enterprise cloud computing, Meta lacks a proven enterprise pipeline.
They are spending billions on AI with no clear way to monetize it outside of their traditional advertising business. $14 billion bought Meta a visionary and forced a proprietary model into existence. Now, the company has to prove it can survive its own internal revolt long enough to turn personal superintelligence into a profitable reality.